Hey there, I'm back to news, politics, conspiracy theory chat. I'm your host, as always, and tonight unshaven, aka the skeptical Canuck. Thank you for joining me tonight. We've got a few articles. We're going for about 35 minutes. First up, Dr. Seuss Cancelled. Next, CRA suspend the online accounts of over 100,000 people. Does this expose the folly of online banking? Digital currency, all that kind. I don't know. Would 1985 vaccine passports may soon become a reality. This is from Forbes.com. And after that, the secret project to scoop up everyone you know and love away in a camp exposed. And finally, Smart Dust aims to monitor everything you do. That's from CNN.com. And it's an article about nano technology. But before we get started, let's go ahead and hear from our favorite artist. It is Wax, and this song is Diamond in the Rough. It's 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and this allows the live viewers, if any, to come on in, and it also allows me, the host, to smoke one of these. I actually wore this shirt last night, so while this is playing, I'm going to go ahead and do a wardrobe change. Here we are, Wax, Diamond in the Rough, on 100% Canadian maple syrup. Enjoy.
Check it out, I feel a deity seeing me from a bird's eye. I got that LASIK surgery up on my third eye. My old playbook is about to be picked up curbside. The stuff I usually trip about, I'm not worried about. The sun is hitting on my cells, I feel rejuvenated. I jubilate as my body becomes recuperated. I'm walking around like I'm newly enhanced. I am a truly new man, and I just wrote a new jam. Hey.
I'm glowing, I'm shining, I'm feeling like a diamond in the rough. My fingers, my toes, my body and my clothes are lighting up.
I was a larva, now I marvel at this new norm. I kicked a habit, graduated from cocoon form. I'm looking down from the vantage point of the tallest tree and seeing everything's exactly how it ought to be. I was an autumn leaf falling, but the spring coming. I drop science and it plummets from the highest summits. I'm like the hummus that you get in Tel Aviv. I'm the freshest, I'm the dopest. I got tricks up my sleeve. I'm the new ending of the city. Bring the welcome to community. Have them all singing with me. Hey, yo, I got the people in my corner. If you're looking for that heat, then you getting warmer and warmer. I'm glowing,
I'm shining, I'm feeling like a diamond in the rough. My fingers, my toes, my body and my clothes are lighting up.
Yo, drop that shit, Wax.
I'm floating around like I've resided on the space station. My fear of death is on an all-inclusive vacation. If I was a cruise ship, I'd be the inspiration. I just got fired by Satan for insubordination. I brought enough sunlight to unstripe a zebra, and I've been rocking since they built the pyramids of Giza. I serve it hot like the busiest coffee shop barista. Pleased to meet you, I'm a beast, check it.
I'm glowing, I'm shining, I'm feeling like a diamond in the rough. My fingers, my toes, my body and my clothes are lighting up.
Pass me that Stratocaster.
I'm glowing, I'm shining, I'm feeling like a diamond in the rough. My fingers, my toes, my body and my clothes are lighting up.
100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100%
And there it is, Dive into the Rough by Wax. And that's from the album of basically the last free summer humanity had. That came out in 2019, and the album is called BAAA, as if he's sending a message to the sheep. So without further ado, and go ahead and check that out, by the way. That's from Wax and Herbal Tea, all one word, on YouTube. Check them out. So without further ado, let's get started. We've got the ever omnipresent Solstice tuning in. What's up? What is up, YouTube? Oh, fucking YouTube sucks, man. Again, to the show, go ahead and smack that to your browser, and you too can pop up here on screen, comment about this bullshit that we're about to read. And momentarily, I will flash that on the screen, as always, to give people a chance to enter it in. There you go. If you want to go back and look at it or whatever, if you can't get the chats for some reason, there you go. So, further ado, let's get into this and read about Dr. Seuss Cancelled? Yeah, it appears so. Let's check it out. So, oh yeah, and I will remind you, please smash that like button if you don't mind. And if you haven't already and you're watching this later, perhaps, go ahead and subscribe. So, let's see what this says. From CNN, fake news website, everybody's favorite fake news website. Look at this website is. I can't even read the fucking title. Oh my God, look at this shit. CNN.com. Shit in a fucking barrel. Says canceled. I don't know what it says. Will no longer be published. 6 Dr. Seuss. You see that shit? Well, 6 books will no longer be published because they betray people in a, what does that say? Hurtful and wrong ways. In hurtful and wrong ways. All right, CN fucking N. And it's these 6 books, as you can see. It is. I think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. A kind of an ironic title. Sounds kind of funny. Next, If I Ran the Zoo, also sounds very funny, but I don't think it's as racist as they say. Mick Elliott's Pool on Beyond Zebra. Never heard of that one. Never heard of any of these, actually. Scrambled Eggs, Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. So let's go ahead and take a look at this shitty article. CNN. Oh, is this by anybody? This is by Amanda Watts and Leigh Asmiliash. Published March. Is new people. I think I did read the whole. CNN 6 docs be published because they portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. The business that serves the author's legacy said. Yeah, real good job. And the titles are. I already read these, but here you go again. And to think I saw it on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, Mick Elliott's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. There's one of the free. I really don't like these books, but the difference because of that, I think they're creepy. In a statement, and I always read them too as a kid. In a statement, Dr. Seuss Enterprises said it made the decision after consulting educators and reviewing this catalog. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment. It's only part of it, guys, and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprises supports all communities and families. Wouldn't it be creepy if they just started writing Dr. Seuss books that rhyme and have creepy little characters? It said and have just happen to have brown people. It said the announcement was made Tuesday, the birthday of the famed children's book author. You know, add injury to insult. Are you smarter than the Cat in the Hat? I think so. Dr. Seuss born Theodore Seuss Geisel is one of the best known authors. The man behind beloved classics like The Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I would just have some fun looking at just inventing the original titles. This was originally titled The COON and the Hat, and Black Eggs and Ham, as well as How the African American Stole Christmas. Wouldn't that be funny? These were the original titles of the books. No, it's not that bad. Among others, over 650 million copies of his books have been sold worldwide. The Washington Post reported in 2015. But Dr. Seuss Why weren't they canceled back then? But Dr. Seuss had a long history of publishing racist and anti-Semitic work, which they don't give very good examples of any anti-Semitism at all. At all. I've read this article. They don't. Anyways, they accuse him of racism and I'll tell you, it's what they say here is pretty light. I don't know what they're talking about specifically, but they do give some examples, and they're really shitty. Spanning back to the 1920s. Oh no, the 1920s. When he was a student at Dartmouth College. That was 100 years ago. There, Dr. Seuss once drew black boxers as gorillas and perpetuated Jewish stereotypes portraying Jewish characters as financially stingy. Now, I'll say right off the bat, I don't know if that is true because they don't give any proof. They don't give any actual sources. They're just slandering a dead man. So if that's true, that is definitely pretty racist, but that's not in the kids' books. So I don't see why that contributes to the canceling of those 6 books. And they say perpetuated Jewish stereotype portraying characters as financially stingy. Now listen, in a kid's book, obviously not, but it doesn't even do that. It's when he's in college, he drew that. Everybody makes fun of Jews being cheap. Everybody. And sorry, you're not fucking take that from us. You're not going to take that from the comedy world of making fun of Jewish people being stingy because they do it too. So shut the F up, okay? According to a study published in the journal Research of Diversity in Youth Literature. Sounds like a fine study, doesn't it, guys? The study published probably wasn't funded by China or Russia or any of those places. North Korea, probably North Korea. The study was published in 2019, examined 50 books by Dr. Seuss and found 43 out of 45 of the characters of color have characteristics aligned with the definition of Orientalism or the stereotypical offensive portrayal of Asia. The 2 African characters, the study says, both have anti-black characteristics. Again, they're saying those things. They're making these claims. They're not providing any sources. They're just lazy fucking journalists. I wouldn't even call them journalists. To have wrote this article, it's surprising that they have a grade 9 education, let alone a fucking college education, college diploma. I'm so stupid. I barely know what that their diploma is called, the learning papers. I can tell you this is ridiculous. And now listen. Let's just check the rest of this out. 2 specific examples. Is that the Asian fellow there? Yeah, that is pretty racist. No, that's a monster. 2 specific examples, according to the study found in the books. The Cat's Quizzer. Are you smarter than the Cat in the Hat? And If I Ran the Zoo. If I Ran the Zoo sounds pretty racist, but I don't think it's as bad as they say. Because listen to this. This will make you If this doesn't make you laugh, then you're not offended by cancel culture. Because I'm not offended by this as much as I am offended by the fact that they're canceling this shit 100 years after the fact. Now, maybe if they want to edit some books, I can totally understand that. Because, take a look at this, though. This first example is stupid. In the Cat's Quizzer, the Japanese character is referred to as Japanese. How offensive! They refer to as a Japanese person as Japanese. So right off the bat, that is just stupid. It's lazy. And if there's so many examples of these hateful, horrible things, I find it really stupid that they even included that. And it's probably just in there to make people like me get upset. And to make the lefties think that people like me are fucking against Japanese people. I love Japanese people. They're some of my favorite Asians. I'd say they probably are my favorite Asians. All those cartoons, the samurai sword. All right, so the Japanese character is referred to as Japanese. He has a bright yellow face. Now, that might be slightly stereotypical, but again, they could just change the print of the color in the book. Or, that's really not that bad. That's most books did that back in the day. That's, anyway. How are we supposed to make the distinction? Anyways, and is standing. It's just like, I don't know. There. I wouldn't say there's people that look like a sign, like a bright yellow face, and it's definitely not a bright yellow face. It's a dark yellow face. Anyways, and is standing on what appears to be Mount Fuji. So 3 things. He's got a bright yellow face. He's standing on Mount Fuji, which is a proud national historical landmark of Japan. So I don't know how the fuck is that racist? They would just call anything racist. Calling him Japanese is racist, even though he's from Japan. I mean, they wanted what, man from Japan? Is that what you wanted to say? That rhymes. And the yellow face thing it's really not that offensive because again, that's just it's 100 fucking years ago. Oh, I swear. Regarding if I ran the zoo, like these people have nothing better to do than get upset over a 100-year-old book. Real good keeping of the man's legacy. They should be defending this stuff, if anything. I shouldn't have to. Now, this one's a little racist. Regarding if I ran the zoo, the study points out another example of Orientalism, and that sounds like it's being Oriental. It doesn't sound like you're hating against people who are from Asia, because apparently saying Oriental is racist now, even though that's a real term. And so it says this example points out Orientalism and white supremacy, and only Asian characters who are not wearing conical hats. Here, give me 1 second. Just literally 1 second. I got something. All right, I'm coming back. I just had to fucking turn something off. It was driving me crazy. It was going making fucking noise. All right. Regarding if I ran the zoo, the study points out another example of Orientalism and white supremacy. Right supremacy. I don't know how they do both of those. It would have to be pretty offensive of a cartoon. And only three Asian characters who are not wearing conical hats are carrying so they're not wearing the hats. So why is it offensive? They're carrying a white male on their heads. In If I Ran the Zoo, the white male, the white male, not the white guy, the white male is not only atop of, I guess if it was a female, it'd be okay. See, the real crime here is having a penis and having the wrong skin color. No, I'm just kidding. The white male is not only on top of and being carried by three Asian characters, but he's also holding a gun, illustrating dominance. The text beneath the Asian characters describes them as, and they quote this, so this better be exactly what it is. It says, helpers who all wear their eyes at a slant from countries no one can spell. Now, listen, no one can spell those countries. That's a fair and accurate joke. Now, as for saying their eyes are at a slant, well, that's pretty offensive, I mean, they definitely look a little different, but that's, it's kind of offensive. So I can see how they want to get rid of that one, but that's only one good example. They make a bunch of statements about, oh, when you was in college, you did all these fucking things. People do funny things in college when they're, young adults, and laugh, especially if they're cartoonists. All right, so I'd love to see some of his adult works. And I think I said on Mulberry Street. So the study also argues that since the majority of the human characters in Dr. Seuss books are white, his works inadvertently are not centers on whiteness and thus perpetuate white supremacy. So you see that. If you want to make a book 100 years ago about, people, and listen, I think that there's a little bit more than him just being a pasty white little boy, obviously. Look at the street. It's white. They probably did that for lack of, what are we going to paint every fucking character here? So anyways, I mean, it is 100 years ago. So anyways, they're saying just because the people in it are white, that it's white supremacy, when 100 years ago, most people were white. So, I mean, that's not racist on its face. The first thing was a little bit slightly, a little bit racist, but not too much. It's not even really that bad. Separating Seuss, I mean, it that's the slant thing is offensive, but it's, it's not like they make it sound like the way they describe this, they make it sound like the books are about fucking KKK fucking signs. It's ridiculous the way they portray this shit. They could say it's a little offensive, and we think it's time to pull one or two of these books. Not we're pulling all six. I don't know. Separating Seuss from children's literature. Earlier this week, a school district in Virginia made headlines for allegedly banning the books by Dr. Seuss. The London County Public Schools, located in Ashburn, said it's not banning the books by the famous children's author. It's just discouraging a connection between a Read Across America Day, which was to get kids excited about reading, and Dr. Seuss's birthday. Both fell on March 2nd and has often been historically connected to each other. I guess they're talking about the reading day. And the district said in a statement, and this is the end of the article, research in recent years has revealed strong radical undertones in many books. Strong radical undertones, not outdated humor that's now offensive. Strong radical undertones. It's strong, it's radical, it's coming to get you. It's racism. I'll say this again, the greatest, I don't know if anyone has ever said this, the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was convincing you he was a racist. Do you think that people who drop bombs in a third world country on brown people wouldn't fucking drop bombs on you and your family? And get ready, because it's probably going to start happening in the States. You QAnon and terrorinis, and you're all going to get blown to fucking shit. So get to Canada while you can and help us take this mother over democratically with your votes. We love immigrants here, and if you come as a refugee, you only have to pay for the hotel quarantine or whatever the fuck. So get on over here before that vaccine becomes mandatory. So it's they wanted to focus on diversity, not Dr. Seuss. Okay, they're dickweeds. So that's the end of that article. If anybody's even watching this goddamn piece of crap, probably not. Yeah, no, we got zero. Why? It's discouraging to do this show because, you know, we get some views on this specific show. So we don't do too bad. But I notice if I do a segment on something and something alone, or if I have a conversation with someone, it gets many more views. Not sure who's just tuning in. Hopefully it's, what's his name there, Steve? But anyways, I guess I'll just keep going on. And Steve, again, if you'd like to join, the link is in the chats. So yeah, I'll just keep reading the. Let's go ahead and take a look at Smart Dust. Sure, let's go to that one. Smart Dust aims to monitor everything. And this is an article about nanotechnology. I started looking this up because not really my co-host, but a contributor to the show, Steve, told me to start looking into nanotech. So I am. This is, again, from CNN.com. Who knows? It could be completely bullshit. Smart Dust aims to monitor everything. This is by John D. Sutter for CNN, May 3rd, 2010. This is from 2010. Imagine what they have now. Jesus. Paul Otto, this isn't too long of an article. Paul Otto from California. In the 1990s, a researcher named Chris Pister, dreamed up a wild future in which people would sprinkle the earth with countless tiny sensors, no larger than a grain of rice. These smart dust particles, as he called them, would monitor everything, acting like electronic nerve endings for the planet, fitted with the computing power, sensing equipment, wireless radios, and long battery life. The smart dust would make observations and relay mountains of real-time data about people, cities, and the natural environment. I just needed some water. Sorry about that. Let me unplug this heater too. These smart dust particles, he called them. No, I already read that. Sorry about that. Now a version of Pfister's. I guess his name is Pister. I don't know. He's got a weird name. Smart Dust Fantasy is starting to become a reality. It's exciting. It's been a long time coming, said Pister, a computing professor at the University of California, Berkeley. I coined the phrase 14 years ago, so Smart Dust has taken a while, but it's finally here. Maybe not exactly how he envisioned it, but there has been progress. The latest news comes from the computer and printing company Hewlett-Packard, which recently announced the printing company, what the hell? It's working on a project it calls the central nervous system for the Earth. Not spooky at all. In coming years, the company plans to deploy 1 trillion sensors all over the planet. The wireless devices, would check to see if ecosystems are healthy, detect earthquakes more rapidly, or maybe cause them, predict traffic patterns, and monitor energy use. Oh my God. The idea is that accidents, just jump. The idea is that, sorry about that. One of these really shitty websites that jumps around on you as if it was controlled by dust. Let me see. He hasn't envisioned it. Let me see. I just got to find my place again here, of course. The latest news comes from computer and printing company Hewlett-Packard, which recently announced it's working on a project it calls the central nervous system for the Earth. In coming years, the company plans to deploy 1 trillion little sensors all over the planet. That's horrifying. So yeah, we already read. Okay. The wireless devices would check to see if ecosystems are healthy, detect earthquakes more rapidly, predict traffic patterns, and monitor energy use. The idea is that the accidents, here's where we were, could be prevented, and energy use could be saved if people knew more about the real world in real time. Instead, when workers check on these issues only occasionally. That was very painful to read. I have to turn down this brightness. HP will take its first step. That's a printing company, I believe, toward its goal in about 2 years, said Peter Hartwell. Oh, they're talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're talking about HP printers. A senior researcher at HP Labs in Palo Alto, the company has made plans with Royal Dutch Shell. Oh, so the oil company. That's not scary at all. What a bunch of horse shit. To install 1 million matchbook-sized sensors to aid in oil exploration. Oh my God, that's exactly what we need. More exploration for oil. By measuring rock vibrations and movement. He said those sensors, which already have been developed, will cover a 6 square mile area. That will be the largest smart dust deployment to date, he said. It's not really smart dust. There's the size of fucking matchbooks. It's not dust at all. We just it's my phrase. It's smart dust. I made that up. It was me. We just think now the technology has reached a point where it makes basic sense for us to get this out of the lab and into reality, Hartwell said. Smart dust minus the dust. Yeah, no shit. Despite the recent excitement, there's still much confusion in this computing industry about what exactly smart dust is. For starters, the sensors being deployed and developed today are much larger and clunkier than the flecks of dust HP's sensors, accelerometers like those on an iPhone or a Droid phone, about 1,000 times more powerful, are the size of about the size of matchbooks. Yeah, they already said that. When they're enclosed in a metal box for protection, they're about the size of a VHS tape. Oh yeah, real smart dust. What kind of an article is this? So what makes smart dust sensors different from a weather station and traffic monitor? Well, not really anything, really. Size is one factor, but smart dust sensors must be relatively small and portable. But the technology hasn't advanced far enough to manufacture the sensors on the scale of millimeters for commercial use, although Berkeley researchers are trying to make one that's a cubic millimeter. So, maybe you could call that smart dust if you use your fucking imagination. A millimeter is, that's actually pretty fucking small. Never mind. That is smart dust. Well, closer to it. Wireless. I'd hate to breathe one of those in. Wireless connectors are the big distinguisher too. A building's thermostat is most likely hardwired. A smart dust sensor might gauge the temperature, but it would be battery powered and would communicate wirelessly with the internet and with other sensors. Oh, there you go. More 5G bullcrap. The sheer number of sensors in the network is what truly makes the Smart Dust project different from others to record data about the world, said Deborah Enstrin, a professor of computer science at the University of California, Los Angeles, who works in the field. Smart Dust researchers tend to take in the millions and billions and trillions they tend to talk in. Some say reality has diverged so far. What the hell? Some say reality has diverged so far from the smart dust concept that it's time to dump the term in favor of something less sexy. Wireless sensor networks or meshes. Yeah, meshes makes more sense. Are terms finding greater acceptance with some researchers. I'd say something like a nervous system. Call it what it is. Network nervous system. Oh, Enstrin said it's important to ditch the idea that the smart dust sensors would be disposable. It's important to ditch that idea because they cost a shit ton of money. The sensors have been designed for specific purposes and spread out on the land intentionally, not scattered in the wind, as smart dust was initially pitched, she said. Yeah, I'd hate to breathe one of those in. Real World Web. Despite these differences, researchers say the smart dust theory that monitoring everything will benefit humanity remains essentially unchanged. Let me read that one more time. The smart dust theory that monitoring everything will benefit humanity remains essentially unchanged. So now you see the real point of the smart dust. And there are a number of real-world projects that in one way or another seek to use wireless sensors to take Earth's vital signs. Wireless sensors currently monitor farms, factories, data centers, and bridges to promote the efficiency and understanding how these systems work, researchers said in interviews. Don't they make these systems? They don't know how they work? What, Earth's vital signs? I mean, they've only had a couple of 100 years to figure it out, right? Come on, guys. It's not like biologists are worth a damn. All right, let's finish this off. All right, sorry, I get real pasty. Smoking and reading and smoking and reading. In all these cases, the sensor networks are deployed for a specific purpose. For example, a company called Streetline has installed 12,000 sensors on parking spots and highways in San Francisco. The sensors don't know everything that's going on at those parking spots, though they are equipped with magnometers to sense whether or not a huge metal object, hopefully a car, that's what it says, is sitting at the spot. And I like those because at least they do serve a purpose. They tell you where a spot is free. So that kind of makes sense. Smart dust doesn't make sense. It sounds horribly dystopian, if I'm saying that right. I don't have a great nine. The data will soon be available to people who can use it to figure out where to park, said Todd Dykstra, Street Lines CEO. It also tells the cities if the meters have expired. Other sensors are equipped to measure vibrations in factory and oil refineries to spot machine problems and inefficiencies before they cause trouble. Still, others might pick up data about temperature, chemistry, or sound. Tiny cameras on radars also can be tacked into the data collecting network to detect the presence of people or vehicles. My God. The power of these networks is that they will eventually be connected. Jesus Christ. They are connected in some way, for sure, said David Culler, a computer science professor at the UC Berkeley. I guess it's a college. Culler said the development of these wireless sensors networks is analogous to the create. I really need glasses. Sorry about the poor reading. Is analogous to the creation of the World Wide Web. It's analogous. What's being created, rather, with smart dust ideas is a real world web, he said. A real web around the world. But he said we're still in the early on in that progression. Netscape from the wireless sensor network hasn't quite happened, he said. The big brother effect. Here we get to the meat and the potatoes of the article, I'm sure. Or the deflection. Even when deployed for science or the public, some people still get a big brother feeling, monitoring everyone at all times. The comfortable sense of being under constant secret surveillance from the idea of putting trillions of monitors all over the world. And the reason they want to get all this data is called technofascism, but there's also technocracy. And basically, they can't control what you can't control what you don't have data about. So they're trying to control everyone's energy usage. They're saying it's for global warming. Meanwhile, they keep drilling out the fucking oil. It's all farce. It's very, very, very huge potential. That's what they say. A very huge potential privacy invasion, because we're talking about very, very small sensors. Only two varies there that can be undetectable and effectively. Said Li Tian, an attorney at Electronic Frontier Foundation, a privacy advocate. They are there in such numbers that you can't really do anything about them in terms of easy countermeasures, except for drag the people who are controlling them out of their offices and smash their heads on the pavement, grate them down. We've got all these jackboot cops. Why don't we put them to use? That doesn't mean that the researchers should stop working on smart dust. I like how they tell you what to think. But they should be mindful of, that doesn't mean they should stop working on smart dust. Of course it doesn't, guys, but they should be mindful of the privacy as the work progresses, he said. Pister, whatever the fuck this guy's name is, Pister, said the wireless frequencies that smart dust sensors use to communicate, which would work kind of like a Wi-Fi, have security built into them, so that the data is public only if the person or company that installed the sensors wants it to be, he said. Oh, so they're trying to say that's putting the concerns that they're worried about you guys watching them, you asshole. These people will always give an answer like, they just talk around the fucking matter. Don't worry, people can't hack it. It's like Wi-Fi. They can only see what they want them to. Fucking so stupid. Of course people can hack it. And I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about this greaseball. So anyway, let's finish this up. Privacy, blah, blah, blah. Further privacy concerns may arise if another vision for smart dust comes true. Some researchers are looking into making mobile phones or making some are looking into making mobile phones or sensors. What the hell? In this scenario, billions of people roaming the earth with cell phones become the smart dust. What? Bright future. This is to finish it up. Smart dust researchers say their theory of monitoring the world, however it's realized, will benefit the people and the environment. More information is better information, Pisser said. Pister, whatever the fuck. Having more sensors improves the efficiency of a system and reduces the demand and reduces the waste. It's a lot of ands there. He said, so all of that is just straight goodness. What an asshole. Hartwell, the HP researcher, said that this way says the only way people can combat huge problems like climate change and biodiversity loss is to have more information about what's going on. No, it's not. It's to stop all the oil. But you guys don't give a fuck. You're going to keep it going for until 2050. You don't give a fuck. And you'll take away our cars, but you'll keep doing your shit. You'll keep drilling for oil. I'm so sick of this fucking bullshit. I don't even care about swearing anymore. I really don't. It's fucking bullshit. All right. Frankly, I think we have to do it from a sustainability and environmental standpoint. Where's my gun? I need to just shoot myself in the... No, it's just a cap gun. Relax. I already have the cops visit me. Because that thing actually does, it fires off sparks. It looks very cool. Unfortunately, I don't have any caps. Hartwell, blah, blah, blah. The asshole said the only way we can combat. So he's saying climate change is the only way we can do it is if we have sensors all everywhere and watch everyone all the time. Frankly, I think we have to do it from a sustainability environment. Like you already said that, bitch. Even though the first application of HP's central nervous system for the Earth project will be commercial, Hartwell says the motives behind smart dust are altruistic. Yeah, right. People ask me what my job is, and I say, well, I'm going to save the world, he said. That bitch needs a slap in his fucking face. All right, so now that I've sworn a bunch and effed myself over, let's check if there's any comments. Of course not. Of course not. We're at 37 minutes. We're going to rush through these last articles. We already read that one. And yeah, I think we'll shut down. CRA suspends many accounts over... How long is this? Look at all these pop. To be clear, these accounts were not impact. What is this? I didn't ask for a video about it, dudes. To be clear, these accounts were not impacted by a cyber attack at the CRA. So what, you're saying somebody sold it? As a precautionary security measure and to prevent unauthorized access to these accounts, this is like the what do you guys in the States call it? It's like what do you guys call that thing? Anyway, who cares? It's the tax man. It's the tax man. As a precautionary security measure to prevent unauthorized access to these accounts, we took swift action to lock the accounts and in the process of contacting the legitimate account holders to unlock their accounts, he said. We will work with the impacted individuals to reestablish their credentials and unlock their accounts. There is no urgent need for taxpayers to contact us imminently unless they are emergency benefit applicant and have applications in our system. This is just more bullcrap so they can be lazy and not do any work. The cryptic email sent out by the tax agency on Tuesday, which simply told the recipient that their email address had been removed from the Canada Revenue Agency account and no further explanation, created significant concern among Canadians. What a bunch of dicks. Many were afraid that the issue was linked to significant cyber incidents involving 48,500 MyCRA accounts last summer, though Doty assures that is nothing. No. Those incidents forced CRA to suspend tens of thousands of taxpayers' online accounts, as well as suspend certain online services, such as address changes until further notice. Unable to reach the agency via its call center, many Canadians turned to social media to get an explanation from the CRA. And again, I've tried to call them many times. You can't call anybody at the CRA. It's almost like nobody fucking works there. And it's ridiculous that our money goes to this stuff. Anyway, I received an email that my email address has been removed from the CRA. I don't know why. I didn't initiate myself. And I didn't initiate myself. So they didn't even initiate themselves to it. They didn't give their email. I tried, I guess they did. They did, yeah. My bad. I tried logging into my CRA website, and as soon as I logged in, I got an error message. What's going on? Twitter user Chris Lotz asked the agency. Another user, Dennis Sanders from Halifax, was particularly concerned after receiving the cryptic email from the CRA. Help me, please! You are freaking me out. Why am I locked out? Remove me. What's going on? I'm scared to death. Help me. That's where. I'm scared to death. He sounds like he's trapped in the back of a car. Help me, please. You're freaking me out. Why am I locked out? You removed my email. What's going on? I'm scared to death. Please help me. Saunders tweeted to the CRA while locked in a phone booth downtown. That is ridiculous. I mean, it is outrageous. Funniest. That's the funniest post I've ever read in my life. All right, so there's another article biting as a comment. Who gives a crap? And yeah, we're at 41 minutes through this 1984 vaccine pack. Stusman. I tried, buddy. How long is this article? No, it's not that long. Okay, good. We got lucky. These are all really crappy short articles. Shout out to you, Mr. Balsasumis. Boys, from February 25th, 2021. Trust but verify, a classic adage that is becoming increasingly pertinent in today's pandemic-driven world. Coronavirus has been devastating. It has been one, having caused millions of people suffering and death, mostly from suicide and drugs. Access to vaccinations slowly start to increase worldwide. Governments are desperate to open borders, restart businesses, and allow their citizens to return back to a new normal. This bitch needs a slap. Time. I got the mad pasties. The timelines will depend on how quickly infection rates can be curbed as countries and states attempt to reopen, verifying the status of testing and not, especially when because testing and inoculation will become more important, especially when it comes international travel, large-scale planning, event planning, and general contaminant strategies. So get ready, because they're saying especially when it comes to travel. And again, I'm trying to tell people I know this is coming to schools. Don't let your kids go to school. There was I'm going to get to probably tonight because this show sucked. And a kid got taken away from his mom, little kid, put in some kind of facility. Our country is going to shit, guys. I don't think anyone gives a fuck. I'm at the door giving out cards for my show because I'm sick of this crap. I want people to be very scared of what's going on. Because I am. I'm scared of this stuff. Have to use vaccine pass or some certification traction. Everyone's favorite hellhole. Excuse my honesty. Canada's becoming a hellhole too. Has been at the forefront of this discussion. In fact, government leaders in the UK are expected to make a decision regarding vaccination certificates in coming months. The government may potentially leverage an existing technology called the National Health Services, connected to the National Health Services to provide the vaccination testing statuses. The wider European Union is also contemplating the use of some. What was the point of Brexit? Is also contemplating the use of some type of certification. Denmark and Sweden are working to develop a vaccination passport. Good old Sweden. While Germany and France are cautiously attempting to figure out how similarly to certify the status of vaccination without engaging in discrimination towards parties to a vaccines, but definitely wants to take this experimental fucking shit. I'm sick of these cocksuckers, man. I am really sick of these cocksuckers. If I could go to town hall right now, I'd be screaming at these motherfuckers. I really would. Take me out. Try to take me out of here because I've been practicing my kung fu. This summer, I'm practicing my kung fu in the forest. I don't give a shit. Just try to stop me, motherfuckers. See what happens when you try to stop a man from practicing. You ever seen a Bruce Lee movie? You ever seen a Bruce Lee movie? Private entities are also. You must not do kung fu. I must do kung fu. I cannot. You cannot do kung fu. You must. It's madness. No, you will not stop me. Ah, like fucking what is this going to turn into, guys? You're gonna come out. Come on. Private entities are also entering this debate. They're not pushing it at all, private entities. Airlines have long contemplated the use of these certification processes for their customers as the perfect way to get passengers and nations, as airlines often came up with their requirements for passengers regarding COVID 1984 testing prior to flying. And they're collecting all your DNA, folks. You know, ancestry.com. That's what they're doing. According to conventions, cruise lines, universities, and many other locations with the potential for mass gatherings. Fuck these people. Their technology capabilities to institute these certification processes are Commons Project, a non-profit public trust which is collaborating with the World Economic Forum. Bum bum bum. One of the most evil fucking groups of freaks there is. A group of people that should probably be flogged. They should probably be flogged with sticks. Lawn, I said probably. The launch its Common Pass platform as a means to develop and launch a global standard model to enable people to document their keeping their health, informative information private. Why does economic form have anything to do with this? Democracy. Time over the last 13, 14 months to really drive it in your head. You have to say word doesn't mean shit. Say people. It's disgusting. That's why I don't even use Facebook anymore. More and more, something I want to tell people, and I just don't bother. I go to Mastodon instead, and even that, it takes a lot of attention. Social media is not it's messed up. It's causing mental health problems, and it's making people it's really making people autistic. I call it socialist media, is making people retarded. That being said, I'm enjoying Mastodon because it's mostly positive and it's mostly conspiracy. So yes, socialist media is evil, but if you're gonna be on it, go to Mastodon instead, or go to Float. But Float is, I find it like Facebook in 2000, but it's still kind of cool. I think they have live stream now, so I actually might be going to Float pretty soon. Yeah, just let me take that insult out of the back of my throat. This is a long article. Oh, I read it, didn't I? Yeah, no, I didn't actually. Wait, what? We're almost done. Another example is Clear, which aims to transform your eyes and face. What? Another example is Clear, which aims to transform your eyes and face into a touchless ID. Oh, isn't that cute? They're transforming your face and eyes into a touchless ID. They're adding facial recognition data. They're turning your face to a touchless ID. Uh, they're not criminal mugshot. Usually is only reserved for criminals. criminals, they're making a touchless ID, allowing you to quickly and securely confirm your identity, unlocking a frictionless experience across the vision. Is attempting to get it. They're gonna make it friction for everybody who doesn't have this. I mean, I can't believe this. Clear is attempting to address the vaccination certificate issue, and with its Health Pass platform acting as a trusted digital health passport that securely validates your ID, lab, and vaccination credentials. What is lab credentials? Making a safer environment for employees, employers, customers, and fans. Fuck. I don't even know who. Anyways, I'll probably read this again later on. So again, there it is. The plan to make sure you get vaccinated or don't do anything. And I didn't do a very good job of reading that. I'm going to read it again, probably in a dedicated close out this shitty show and the show that no one loves anymore. I get it. It's getting old. And I'll probably just start doing articles more and more often. I don't know. I said I was going to do this every night, but to be fair, I haven't really tried it. Maybe I'll try going tomorrow around 6 p.m. Something nice and early. We'll go tomorrow and like maybe the next 2 days. See if anybody watches it. But yeah, I just don't want to. Yeah, I just don't want to waste my time. You know. Anyway. Rex 84, short for Red is extra, and I read this before. I read this on yesterday's show. I did a show yesterday, but I just thought it was so shitty. I'm like, no one's gonna watch this. It's an hour long. Anyways, I find it crazy. Anybody can watch me for 5 minutes, let alone 50 minutes. It's just like I'm not wasting my time with these long form shows at this hour. I don't care. You don't need to hear my complaining. This is why no one watches. A classified scenario and drill developed for the United States and the federal government to detain large numbers of U.S. citizens deemed to be national security threats. In the event that the president declared a national emergency, the plan was first revealed in detail in major newspapers by reporter Alfonso Chardy in July 5th, 1987 edition of the Miami Herald. They have had these plans for a very, very long time. Possible reasons for such a roundup were reported. We're going to round up all of them Indians. Were reported to be widespread opposition to a U.S. military invasion in Southern America. I know this so well, I didn't even have to look at the screen. Southern America, such as if the United States were directly to invade there, the combat what the government perceived as subversive activities. They wanted to combat those subversive activities. The plan also authorized the military to direct ordered movements of civilian populations at state regional levels, according to Professor Diana Rawls. So it's basically full military martial law. Existence of master military contingency plans, of which Rex 84 was a part of, Operation Garden Plot, and similar urges, Lantern Spike, were originally revealed by journalist Ron Riddenhauer, who summarized his findings in an article in Counter Spy. Transcripts from the Iran-Contra hearings in 1987 record the following dialogue between Congressman Jack Brooks, Oliver North's attorney, Brendan Sullivan, and Senator Daniel Inouye, the Democratic chair and joint House committee. Let's see. Can I get the robot to read this? Hey, robot. Could you read this for me, dude? Yo, robot. Yo, Joe Robot. I don't think so. I was going to read it. Congressman Jack Brooks, Cornel North. Congressman Jack Brooks. Well, this is Congressman Jack Brooks. Oh, look, here it is. Read it. Read it.
Congressman Jack Brooks. Colonel North, in your work at the NSC.
Oh my God.
Were you not assigned, at one time, to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster? Brendan Sullivan, North's counsel, agitatedly. Mr.
Holy fuck, that was horrible. Mr. Chairman, holy
Senator
shit.
Daniel Inouye. I believe that question touches upon a highly sensitive and classified area, so may I request that you not touch upon that? Brooks. I was particularly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because I read in Miami papers, and several others, that there had been a plan developed, by that same agency, a contingency plan in the event of emergency, that would suspend the American Constitution. And I was deeply concerned about it and wondered if that was an area in which he had worked. I believe that it was, and I wanted to get his confirmation.
Holy fuck.
May I most respectfully request that that matter not be touched upon at this stage. If we wish to get into this, I'm certain arrangements can be made for an executive session.
And there you have it. So recently, what happened was Rick Hillier and the Canadian government made similar inquisitions, and he had his mic cut. So they've had these kind of plans for a while, and when they ask, they'll just not answer it. And these people are basically planning to kill us all. And if you don't see that, you're fucking stupid. You're just stupid. And I'm sick of fucking wasting my breath on stupid people. Now, contingency plans for the U.S. government for rounding up people perceived by the government to be subversive or a threat to civil order have existed for many, many decades. For example, from 1967 to 1971, the FBI kept a list of over 100,000 people to be rounded up as subversive, dubbed the ADEX list. As you can see down here, here's the rest of their leaked documents. We got a program called COINTELPRO, FEMA, Main Corps, Mariel Boat Lift, No Fly List, the Non-Detention Act, NSPD 51, Palmer Raids, POSIS Clematis Act, Terrorist Screening Database, Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act of 2007. And I'm going to do a video on all those, probably maybe one at a time, so it's not so long. But that's pretty much it. Another night wasted here, folks, on the Poo Tube, where it's impossible to reach my own viewers, let alone any new ones. But it still makes me feel like I'm doing it. It still gives me kind of a pin in my side to do something on Wednesdays. Even if no one's enjoying it anymore, I usually do. I don't know. I don't like to do these hour shows anymore. I was going to do a half an hour. And look, I did it again. So in the last 3 minutes of the show, I doubt anybody will watch this point. But, thanks for watching. If you did, let me know that you did. But as of yet, I don't think that's ever happened. Unless someone's watching live with me. So, yeah, I might work on another article or two. I got a few chores to do around my place. Going to definitely work on that. I'm definitely going to smoke another one of these. I actually had a half one here. I thought maybe someone might pop in, but yeah, again, gonna be looking at different streaming platforms, different video platforms. I don't like wasting my time. You guys have been great, though. I've got about 40 or 50 people that watch the show regularly, and I gotta say thank you very much. I know this is, I know it's stupid at times, but I try my best. No, I don't. I should try harder. And with that, I just want to close out by saying, somebody passed recently, Spanky from OBDM podcast. I was gonna try and get in contact with him, do a podcast with him, and he ended up dying in a car crash. So I haven't been in a very good mood since then. And it's just when you get opportunities to do something or to make a new friend, don't keep putting it off, because eventually you won't have that opportunity. I remember there's this girl in school. I really liked her. Apparently, she told me she really liked me. And I had ample opportunity to go and meet her, but I wasn't confident enough, I guess, or whatever. There was all kinds of excuses. And it's been one of the biggest regrets of my life, because not only is she really hot, she's nice and pretty, she's nice to me, but she's got like 2 or 3 kids now with the guy that she's with. She ended up dumping this other guy she was with for so many years, since high school, basically. So that's what I'm saying, Don't, with people, don't let your opportunities go by. If you have opportunity to go for a drink with somebody, whether it's somebody you want to befriend or whether it's somebody you want to be with, don't waste the opportunity, because life is short. It can be cut short at any time, and it's just scary. And I'm more mad than anything. I got sad originally, and I was pretty upset, but now I'm just mad because I wasted a lot of opportunities in my life. And that was one that would have been pretty awesome. But anyways, on that note, remember, despite all that depressing bullshit, despite what's going on in the world right now, we do live in a paradise. And the only reason that there's any kind of suffering at all, or any kind of sorrow, is because people aren't sticking up for what we have. And I like to say this at the end of every show because the world is a paradise. We just got to start sticking up for it. And it really makes me sick that right now this stuff is happening. Earlier, I started screaming, and I was like, I can't believe the Americans have let this stuff happen. They've got the rights to use guns. They've got their constitution. Their constitution's being crapped all over. They're literally planning to release a bioweapon in the form of injections, and they're not even telling people what the stuff really is. It's just sickening. It makes me sick, and that's a lot of the reason I want to run for office. Because what else are you supposed to do? You're supposed to grab a gun and go crazy? Of course not. You're supposed to grab a pen and stop getting lazy. I'm Al Wooten. Thank you for tuning in. And who knows how much longer we're gonna do this. So I might try and build up an audience and just stop doing this and just focus my attention on articles. I'll still do content, but maybe just stop doing the live show and start doing just the articles. Because the whole point of the live show was I want to talk to the people who are reading the stuff that I'm bitching about. And instead, I spend this time rushing through a few articles, trying to maintain 2 or 3 people's attention, and it's just a waste of time in reality. If it's not, let me know in the comments, but I guarantee that's not going to happen. And it's my own fault. I like to call myself a producer. I should know what people's attention spans can handle. But either way, thanks for watching all my shit, and let's start talking about solutions. I'm really sick of talking about problems. I've got a lot of ideas for solutions, and fuck the problems. Stick up for yourself and the world around you. Maybe someone else might do it too.